Yeah, do you feel like I guess I didn't see the videos, the earlier videos of you and Brundlefly. Do you think he kind of initiated you in the same way as me? Because I didn't really see too many of your fighting videos. I more saw like the when you guys sort of made friends again.
They might be still up there. They're probably on Luke's stream because Luke keeps all his videos up there. Um, but I was not, I mean, I think I was the one who got Brundle initiated, so to say, because he only came on the stream basically to argue with me that, whatever reason he may have been watching Luke Ford before I was, but when I was on the stream, that caused him to reach out and email Luke and request him to be on the show. And then, once he had been on the show with, in that case, we had a few shows where we were more friendly and then less friendly, but somehow over that, like, like Luke Ford and Brundle developed a good friendship. Like I said last night, Brundle was basically like, I am Luke Ford. Like, Jen, you don't understand. There is no Luke Ford. Luke Ford is me.
I wonder how Luke feels about that.
Well, he probably, I mean, because that's, to some extent, like, he probably does have a close relationship with him, and it may be accurate, but usually that's like negative. And you also have to remember Luke's in Hollywood, and there's that like kind of like acting type, like, like, I'll make you a star, or like you're cut, or like, okay, like it's very cutthroat and we're gonna find someone better and replace you. Like, oh, well, I'll go with you for now because there's no one better, but really you're not that good, and if I find someone better, I'm gonna dump you immediately. And so you at least recognize that Luke is working in that Hollywood paradigm of interaction that might make sense, that and even like Brundle's not from Hollywood or whatever, that somehow he's fell into that character role as sometimes like Kevin Michael Grace has done all these book reviews, like the guy who worked for Stanley Kubrick the majority of his life or something like that. I mean, so it's conceivable like Luke Ford and Brundle could have a working relationship where they opened up a studio and made movies together, and had a working relationship for the rest of their life or even generations. But I mean, a lot of times that's like a personality split, like Luke would hear like, Brundle, stop speaking on my behalf, I don't like that, and could cause a rift or something like that. I don't know that much about Luke and his personal interactions, and in terms for that.
Well, Luke wants, I think from what I can tell, Luke wants a community of loving supporters.
But I think he recognizes that the personality is online is not necessarily who he is, and that like one thing I noticed, for example, is like Luke almost always like drops off instantly after the show ends, as opposed to like other people who like stay on and talk for a few minutes offline. Or you have certain people that like basically like, I don't mind, I'll talk online or offline. Or they have more like Faustian spirit or something like that. He's trying to accomplish something, and talk to you offline, and get more information. I talk to a lot of people offline, as where Luke seems more like like trying to make the great show. Like, he's in Hollywood, he's not trying to make friends, so to say, or push ideas. He's trying to make great show, great entertainment, great content, and he's the great showman. At the end of the day, he wants, I think he's like a great showman. And he probably realizes his personality, for that. Like, Luke wouldn't be able to in real life be a cult leader, but at least so to say on YouTube he might have what it takes to be a YouTube cult leader.
Well, I think if we can demystify cults a little bit and take away
I use
social
that as,
stigma,
yeah, that's what
people,
why I use the word cult. I'm using it in a positive sense.
Yeah, me too. And I think if people start to see it the way we do, in a positive light, then people won't have as big of a inhibition to feel like they're associated with the Luke Ford cult. Luke himself may not feel comfortable being a cult leader, but I would just say take it as a compliment and think of it as, you represent a certain set of ideas, and like Luke says, stay in your lane. If Luke doesn't have the answer to a question, just because he's a cult leader doesn't necessarily mean he has to answer every single question that exists, because there's some other cult out there that can answer the question. He's just playing one role in a greater theme of a theocratic dictatorship.